Blackford, proud resident of AP and have been since July 2000. My husband and I built a home here. Our children grew up here and are APHS alumni. We are blessed to live in paradise as we see it. I want to address the matter between Jason Followell and the city. Keep in mind that while I proceed with my comments that this is not an accusation, there is proof on the table which is also public record. According to a source on your end, Jason had a minor problem to fix in his gym, that he became uncooperative. He was given a municipal court ticket and it was miscoded, so the judge dropped the violations with the understanding that he would fix the issue in his gym.
All right, Team Patriots, in truth, she cited me, or they cited me on IFC 604.6, which was ceiling fans, and I punked them, and they wanted it cited under NEC, which is National Electric Code. Well, as you can see here, they did cite me under both of them. So whoever's making that statement, Chief Blanchard, is full of shit as usual.
The violations are real and true according to this source. So if that's the case, why does Chief Blanchard continue to appeal every time Jason is found innocent? Why is it that there have been 15 appeals? In my opinion, it seems like y'all are beating a dead horse. I think I can speak for many in this town when I say we're tired of it. Everyone sees what's going on. Jason has provided the community with evidence of his innocence to this code enforcement charge. That's why I stand before you.
I've got 15 different cases by Chief Blanchard and you guys against me, and I won every single one of them. This is case number AP21787801. Not guilty. This is for Chief Blanchard's illegal warrant. This was signed by Judge Bean. I am not guilty, and the warrant had no probable cause. Chief Blanchard told me that that judge was just a civil attorney, so it didn't matter, and he was going to appeal it, in which he did. Case number 933B, not guilty. Case number 9134B, not guilty. Case number 9135, not guilty. Case number 91936, not guilty. Case number 91937B, not guilty. Case number 91938B, not guilty. Case number 9901, not guilty. Case number 7001, not guilty. Case number 470101, not guilty. Case number 470201, not guilty. Case number 47031, not guilty. Case number 47051, not guilty. That is 15 different times that I beat that man in court.
Unfortunately, people are afraid to speak out in fear of retaliation, so they won't. No one wants added drama to their life. It's sad to see that several have been affected. If it were any of you, wouldn't you be a tad pissed off having to fight this for 2 years? Sad that they're not here. And suffer the loss of a job due to retaliatory intimidation to his employer, a friend to some of y'all. Do you think after seeing proof and Jason's push to sue the city of AP, we can pretend there isn't a problem here?
Last time I was here, Chief Blanchard gave me some advice, and I'm finally going to obey. It's important to respect and obey our police chiefs. They know better than anyone in this room what is good for us. They're smarter alone on their worst days than all of us are collectively on our best days. Otherwise, surely you wouldn't keep this guy employed as your police chief, right? So I'm taking the advice he gave me when he threatened to arrest me last time I was here. For daring to read the words of the Supreme Court when he said, "Stop talking and just sue me." Okay, Chief, here we go. 3 minutes up. These are your lawsuits.
So somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
Good job, CJ. Good job, CJ.
The whole world is watching us. So sad. They're laughing at us.
You're watching my YouTube video from Italy?
Sorry?
You're watching my YouTube video from Italy? Is that what you said?
No, your YouTube, YouTube video.
Okay.
But your channel. This is RV Freebird.
No, Freebird. Yeah, I know Freebird.
Okay, RV Freebird, and I'm watching the 2-3 video. You against this mayor, no? This mayor Blanchard.
That's
don't
the
remember
that's the
name.
police chief is Blanchard. Yes, sir.
Ah, okay. So, how the end? Come, I know. Sorry, you don't speak Italian, no?
No, sir.
No, is no one there speak Italian? I think, I suppose.
No, sir.
Presents Real Men of Genius. Real Men of Genius.
They're seeing what looks like abuse of power in the city, and to many residents it looks and feels like corruption. I have no room to judge y'all, but if corruption is legally proven, I will judge your actions.
Are these funds divided and spent? Very simply, we'll get cash donations, we'll get check donations. When those monies come in, we have a record or a receipt that's written for them. Those monies go into an account to where they're held. And then when the expenses are made, they're made on a credit card, again, for accountability and transparency. And then the funds from those donations are moved to cover those credit expenses. We try not to receive cash if we can avoid it, but occasionally there has been times to where we're in public, we're shopping for the kiddos, and we do get cash donations from people that applaud that effort during the holiday season. Occasionally there have been times where we'll spend that cash during that transaction right up front, but we really frown on that, and we also do try to follow that up later on with a receipt if we know the person. Sometimes we don't know, and people don't wish to be known for their donations.
Everyone makes mistakes, and I think it's time for the appeals to stop. It has had a huge impact in our community and has caused division. In conclusion, I suggest that you all apologize to Mr. Followell if you know you've made a mistake.
Minimum, you would like an apology from the narcissist, but you wait and wait because the narcissist will never apologize.
I want to see you all make it right with Mr. Fuentes' property, please. I can't even. And finally, please solve the case of Elisa Robertson, please. That's what should be on the focus, is stuff like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have asked the city council, I've asked Mr. Edwards, I've asked too many people, how many signatures do I need on a petition to get stop signs put on South Rive Street? 8 months ago. I still don't have an answer. Can this city council tell me right now, how many signatures do I need on a petition before you act on these stop signs? There's been too many incidences on my street. There's already been a homicide on my street. I don't need one of a different kind on my street. I have been asking for these stop signs for over 8 months because I've had 6 incidents happen myself, to me, and many others I've witnessed. I've spoken to Gary Edwards, Chief Blanchard, Corporal Comack, the committee, David Flores, Tito, the county, but it's a city issue, and I've stated I'm going to get y'all's attention one way or another somehow, politely. Chief Blanchard has even been to my house and saw the problem of 5 long blocks with no stop signs, which makes people do about 60 miles an hour down that road.
Steve Blanchard can't help you, sir. He's too busy looking out for pallets and trying to arrest people for pallets. Oh, I'm sorry. Trying to arrest me and only me for pallets. We don't have time for people that might blow a stop sign and kill somebody. Sorry, sir.
I've witnessed it many, many, many times. I've discussed it now for over 2 months ago when Chief Blanchard was at my house and looked at the situation. I haven't got a telephone call, nothing from anybody in this situation. I need something done, and if somebody can please tell me how many signatures I need on that petition, I'll have it done.
I don't know how many petitions or signatures you need, but Captain Luker is right back there, and I would be addressing him.
Okay. I just feel everybody's blowing smoke up my skirt to make me be quiet and stop complaining. I've already offered my services to put these stop signs in myself. I'll buy the concrete, just give me the signs. the bottom line is that the buck stops with Chief Blanchard, and it just keeps getting passed on to other people everywhere around, and nothing's getting done. So I could sit here and keep talking about it. I got 20 more minutes I could talk about this issue. Just give me some stop signs,
Sir.
please, before somebody gets killed.
Sir, your 3 minutes are
I'm
up.
going to speak to him.
Sir, your 3 minutes are up. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was just about done, so, thank you.
Mayor, 98% of the people come in here are coming in for negative things. I bought my house 12 years ago, and back then this was the armpit of South Texas. It has changed. Harvey changed it. Because when Harvey came in, it cleaned up this town quite a bit because y'all were fortunate enough to get help to get contractors to clean up all the mess that was around here. So the town is doing much better that way. And I don't know how y'all operate on your tax roll when you only got 8,400 people living in there and no industries. I don't know how y'all survive on these taxes. I live in a small town. We have 1,200 people, you know, and the stuff y'all have to do with that tax money, I don't see how he stretches that far. I know you get federal government help and stuff like that, but I'm just amazed that y'all can do what you do. And we all are dealing with the stuff that was done 40, 50, 60 years ago. You know, and that's the way life is. Things grow and pipes are too small and pipes are, you know, galvanized and plastic now, not, you know. So I do respect what y'all are trying to do with the tax roll you got, which is almost nothing for the size of town. But the reason I'm here this evening, I own a house on 601 Salt Rife. Unfortunately, I'm neighbors with him. But he's a good guy, don't get me wrong, he's just a good guy. But, you know, there is a house on the street that's been vacant, lived there, passed away, and his family lost it or don't own it. It needs to be condemned and tore down. It's an eyesore. We have 3 houses across the street from me for sale. Well, when you come to buy a house, you see this thing sitting there, nobody's gonna want to buy those houses with that kind of problem. 630 South Rife. Just take a look at it. It's really an eyesore. Years ago, there used to be a problem with washers and dryers and everything else in front of it, but unfortunately, you know, a man passed away. It's just something that needs to be taken care of pretty quick. I know years ago, y'all have done some demolition on Salt Rife before, when houses that were pretty bad. So, you know, to help your tax roll to get these other houses sold, you know, take a look at it and appreciate y'all's time. Thank you, sir.
Anybody else?
My name is Texas James Surratt Jr. I live on 513 Webb Street, this is Flower Bluff, Texas. And why I'm here is, honestly, y'all know there's a big drug problem in this town, correct? That's not a secret, okay? So, Joseph DeGrange, I went to school with, that was a suicide, supposedly. Pat Everett, suicide, supposedly. I'm a bandito, I know. We call him by his rocker name, Robo. Heroin overdose. This is enough, guys. How many more innocent lives are we gonna have fall into drugs and addiction? You know what I mean? You see these people walking around, the homeless. Why do you think they're around here? Because they're getting drugs. Weed's not the problem. It's heroin, methamphetamine, crack cocaine. Think about it. Y'all know, y'all see all these people around here just walking around half dead already. Why can't we get them help? Why? Why do we not have some kind of program for them? Why are we going to lock them up and throw them in jail? And like the last one, got beat.
Jason Followell. Okay, guys. I would love not to utilize my First Amendment right and calling you people out on your bullshit and being pieces of shit, but every time I come up here, you have your illegal decorum and you talk like you have rights over that, and you don't have rights over our constitutional rights. Please stop writing it so I don't have to come up here and say, piece of shit. I would love to not do that anymore. Thank you. We can be civil if y'all would give us our rights back.
Tell them like it is, and I'll tell every one of y'all like it is. Because y'all are acting like a bunch of fucking children. Get your shit straight.
Minutes are up, no, next.
Stop calling the waitresses fat bitches.
Dealing with that bullshit every day of my fucking life, and I'm up to here with it. And I hope to each and every one of you that I die and haunt your ass for the rest of your life.
Tell him that somebody was building a fucking house on his property? None of y'all, nobody, all of y'all could, you know what, y'all could have, every one of y'all could have stopped it.
My shirt says fuck. because all the dumb shit you guys have done, I didn't know if y'all knew how to read or not. But it does say fuck 3 times.
Freedom speech.
The whole world is watching. I drove 4 hours to be here, and it's not because of pieces of shit like you. There's pieces of shit like you in every town. People are here because this man's a hero, him and CJ, and we need more heroes like them in every town.
Y'all just crooked.
Ramp, I know a lot of people have talked to you about me and what's going on, and since the beginning I only wanted an apology. It's too late for that. What I want right now is for Gary Edwards to be fired. You get rid of Gary Edwards and you don't have to see me up here anymore. With that said, if he's fired, we can bring in somebody that's moral and ethical and does the right thing, and that person can do an audit on everybody else and get rid of all the tyrants and the criminals that are in our organization. Speaking what is doing right, David Flores, me and you had a conversation about a month ago, and I informed you that I knew of some racist BS that took place at a city worker. This city worker was fired and the supervisor was not. His supervisor, David, used racial slurs and told him to climb his monkey ass up a ladder, along with some racial dogma that was chalked on the sidewalks. Gary Edwards knew about this too. Nothing was done. In reality, to all the humans out there, color was and is utilized to segregate us. We're all humans. Color doesn't mean shit. Gary Edwards and David, well, David, I know Gary Edwards won't get up here and give a public apology, but David, we citizens of this town do believe you are a good person. I think, personally, you're just oppressed by that man that usually sits there, and he keeps you from being a good person. With that said, we would love to see you give a public apology to that individual and maybe give him his job back. Now then, Randy, if David does not get up here and apologize to that man that he knows what happened, I have the video of what happened. I would love to share it with you to show that he's a racist SOB too. Not you, man, but the guy sitting there. Usually sits there. I'll show you after the meeting, but I do expect David to give an apology, as he is not an elected official like Mr. Gomez, and we have to wait for you to get out of here, Dominguez, even though you keep failing us and failing us and failing us by working with scumbags. It's time for a change. Luker sitting behind me. I would like to know, sir, Melinda Williams, that lady that y'all had come up here, and she is now testifying that she's scared and terrified of me because y'all coached her. I would like to know how come she committed deadly force and you covered it up, you piece of shit.
I asked him to drop it. I said, I need you to drop that. And he goes, and put it in his shirt like that. And I said, drop it now. And he's like, just grinned. And I went, drop it.
Well, you pulled it out.
Guess what that is, though? Deadly conduct.
Why? He's on your property.
No, it wasn't my property he was on. I was in the alley, which is easement to my property because I maintain
Doesn't matter,
it.
he stole your property.
But he was on the other property and it's deadly conduct. But when I pulled the gun,
Did they try to charge you
he
with
walked
disorderly
away
conduct?
empty. No, they did not, because
Okay.
he didn't press, because they gave me a courtesy. It
Okay.
was Ariel and then Luker and all of that.
Blink all you want. What are you going to do about it? Nothing, because you're a scumbag. Anyway, I would like that investigated, Randy, if you can help me out with that. It's on my YouTube where she admits she used deadly force, and that man right there covered it up. That's the same man that won't investigate Officer Mr. Chief Blanchard. He says it's not his fucking job. It is your job, and it's policy, but I guess since policy doesn't matter and charter law doesn't matter, y'all can do whatever the fuck y'all want, right? Amen. Praise baby Jesus, you pieces of shit. Covering up, motherfuckers. Anybody else? David, you're not going to give that apology?
Seems like that.
It's coming on YouTube then.
Thomas Baker, 505 Robert Run Road. Apologize for my voice. Some of you up here and some already gone got my attention with that failed annexation attempt. Permission for 3 minutes for people to redress their grievances. 3 minutes is bullshit. Make it 5 minutes for citizens and 3 minutes for everybody else. Let's start with the new city attorney. I hope for the citizens' sake that you have your shit together more than the last city attorney. She has already cost the taxpayers of this town millions with her poor legal oversight. That total will go up by millions before her damage is done. I hope that you, sir, are up to speed on the Constitution and the preemption that goes along with it, backed by numerous case law. Big thanks to this man over here, Jason, and others like him, but not limited to Melissa Esquivel. Let's move on to the council. I don't know any of you personally, You, Jason, claim change, and I've seen you buck the Council for Transparency and Citizen Vote for how taxes, grants, loans, and citizen money is spent. That's commendable politically, and that being said, we shall see where you go from here on out. As a whole, ethically, based on what I and many others know about some of you, it is difficult for any of us to listen to any of you preach about the right thing to do when y'all don't even have your own personal effects in order. I can quickly browse this room and smell a dumpster fire of ethical violations, some secret, some public. Nobody's perfect, but the citizens aren't elected and appointed town leaders preaching ethics on Facebook like the chief does. Kerry Scruggs, this is Aransas Pass, not Rockport or Port A. Put a purple and gold panther on the water tower. It's not your advertisement billboard for your fishing buddies. I've read all of your legal testimonies on the failed annexation, and it was absolutely nothing but excuses and passing the buck. Ram, I don't know how people...
Joe Dominguez, I don't know you. I would like to know you. Jason knows me. He's got my number. I'd like to talk to you. You're running the campaign right now, and your campaign signs are with his and hers. Both of these individuals pleaded the Fifth in the annexation. Did you know that? Annexation, and a Fifth Amendment means that they're hiding something. They don't want to talk about it. It's on the documentation. The same annexation that this woman right here cost us $1.8 million. I highly suggest you separate from them and call me. Thank you.
People vote for you over and over again, knowing what I and many others know about you. People have been put in prison for much less. What kind of leader, business owner degrades women that work for them? You can sit up there all righteous and demand some sort of ethical decorum in this room, but we all know who you are and how you treat others, women in general, when you call your female employees fat bitches. Come on, man, there seems to be a pattern in city managerial positions disrespecting women, and not only random women, but women we would assume you would respect. I've been married 24 years with my wife 26, never once mistreated her in this way. It's not hard. Thinking for one reason or another you can't be held accountable for your misdeeds.
As I have referred many times before, I'm not going to investigate the allegations made against Kerry. No, it would be ill-advised and ill-prudent for the local police department to investigate the council member directly when he's alleging such a violation. I would...
Mr. City Attorney, you might need to look into the charter oath code of conduct that these people signed that includes ethical standards, which I assume are fireable offenses.
Good job, Tom.
I'll continue later.
Duties of the interim city secretary, Tomlinson, city attorney. And it's under Texas Government Code, Section 5.
She doesn't even know the charter by not acting on the charter, because the charter says shall. Shall doesn't mean you can if you want to, it means that you will. That's my position on it.
What he's talking about.
Mayor, there are requests from the public to speak on this agenda item. I recommend that we treat it like a citizens communication and allow people 3 minutes if they'd like to address the council on this issue.
Thank you. You got some brownie points there, sir. Okay, so this was actually supposed to be done the first time after the election, so I'd like to know why we didn't follow charter. And then y'all repeated it again and didn't follow charter, so I'd like to know how come we can break those laws but we can't talk about anything else? I'm gonna look at the lawyer since you don't ever respond to me, Ram.
Mr. Followell, I think you're aware that we don't typically respond to citizen communication.
But you can, so it's typically is the word, you can, and we all know you can, so let's get rid of the bullshit. You can. Let's not pretend that we can't. So would somebody like to tell me why y'all broke charter twice in a row? It is a law, right? Is anybody gonna get in trouble for that? Ram, I know you weren't here the second time, but you were here the first time. You didn't even call it to order. Joe, I'm not talking to you at all because you're an idiot. Jason, do you know why?
I had this discussion with the attorney earlier, and I guess you could address me on that matter, couldn't you?
Mr. Knight, I would like to encourage you not to engage in dialogue with people at the podium. It is allowed, and you're welcome to do so if you'd like to do so.
Hypocritical again we are. So I'm going to teach you a lesson, Mr. Gruggs.
You are allowed to talk in citizens' comments, which I'll tell the citizens is a blatant lie. What you are not allowed to do is you're not allowed to lie to us in citizens' comments. Now, by talking to them and talking to Chief Kelly but not responding to me, that would be a violation of my 14th Amendment right. You can ask Roxanne. She knows a little bit about law. Not much, but a little bit. So you are allowed to respond, Kerry Strokes. With that said, Mr. Knight.
Y'all just crooked.
Since this item is on the agenda, you're welcome to engage in dialogue with him if you like.
More brownie points. Good job, sir.
I guess the question he asked, that's what you explained to me. I guess you could explain it to me about why it was tabled, couldn't you?
Absolutely. The charter does unfortunately use the word shall as if it should be handled at that very first meeting, and a strict reading of that language would require that the city elect a mayor pro tem at the meeting immediately following the election, which would have been on, let's see, the 6th, prior to Mr. Haskins being seated. It's my understanding that that is not the way it is traditionally handled in Aransas Pass, and that the charter language itself doesn't reflect the practice of the city. Likewise, there is no crime for violating the charter. It is not illegal in that sense. And so the fact that we addressed it at the first regular meeting after the seating of Mr. Haskins is the way that most cities handle that, even though the language itself here is not terribly clear. It's my recommendation that we address this poor language choice when it comes time for the charter amendment process that's likely going to come up this summer. We'll start talking about a charter committee to review the charter and make any recommendations, and this is one that I recommend we put on the list.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And the language is very clear. It says shall, not should, so it's very clear. So I would like an apology from the council about not following charter, even though this man says it's not law, so why do we have charter anyway? When charter is adopted, it is law, so why don't we follow it? Just because there's no penalty for it doesn't mean it's not law. Anybody want to apologize to the public for not doing your job yet again?
I can admit I didn't catch it till that night.
But you did say something on the second time. These guys didn't say anything.
I can tell you from my point of view, Jason, that if we're not going to adhere to the policies of the charter and the writings of the charter, then we're going to have trouble all through the charter. It's going to come up somewhere else where it's going to say, well, you didn't do it here, and now you want to do it here. And you're shaking your head yes, because you understand that that can't happen.
It just happened.
Yes, sir.
And
yes,
that's
sir.
what we need to get straight is if we're going to abide by the charter, let's abide by the charter.
Yes, sir. And I, although I don't generally engage in dialogue with people standing at the podium, I do need to correct a misunderstanding about what I said previously. I did not say it's not illegal. I did not say it's not against the law to violate the charter. What I said, it was not a crime. There is no crime called violation of charter. And so I agree with you completely. The city needs to follow its charter. That is the will of the elected, of the voters of the community, and we absolutely need to do that.
Appreciate that. Thank you. All right, guys, this is the end of this one. Y'all subscribe, help us grow a little bit. I know we've grew a lot in the last 2 years. I still would like to see this on the mainstream media, but of course they don't want the truth coming out. But you read all the YouTube comments and people are learning from us and knowing what to do in council meetings, which is a good thing. Maybe the Blaze will pick me up again. I know they talked to me a little bit, so maybe they'll pick me up and spread this out there to the rest of the world. And as always, love you guys. Help me out. Help us grow.